Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tim's News Explosion on this Monday, the 25th of March, 2024. We are live on the Wilms Front YouTube channel, the Wilms Front Odyssey channel, and the Wilms Front Rumble channel. Hello to everyone in the live chat. It is 9 p.m. here in Melbourne, Victoria, where over the weekend the city was supposed to be showcased to the world as a sports and major events capital with the Formula One Grand Prix. Instead, what was broadcast around the world was the Transtifa freak show outside Victoria's State Parliament House, where Antifa Socialist terrorists, mainly males wearing masks and cross-dressing, attempted to violently attack attendees at a Women Will Speak event organised by the Victorian Women's Action Group. I get the feeling that it was organised because it was the 1-year anniversary of Kelly J. Keen's Melbourne Let Women Speak event, where Thomas Sewell and the National Socialist Network turned up with their Destroy Pedo Freaks poster and Nazi saluted on the steps of Parliament House. That led to the Liberal leader, John Pesciuto, deciding to expel Moira Deeming from the Victorian Liberal parliamentary room because she was one of the attendees there, and also allowed Kelly J. Keen to come in via the Parliament entrance for security reasons. And so ever since then, the Antifa Socialist freaks, they have said that these women's rights activists, the TERFs, trans exclusionary radical feminists, they're connected to neo-Nazis. And they were there, they put out their poster that to call for their thugs, goons to turn up. It was say no to the TERF fascist, finger-wagging gender cops, sisterhood, not sisterhood, with sisterhood spelled C-I-S. And so it says, bring all the loud shit. Banners, signs, flags, dancing, shoes, be COVID safe, and wear your kafalas to show our continuing support for Palestinian liberations. This event will be held on unceded lands. So the kafala is those tea towels that they wear on their heads. They can be black and white or red and white, made famous by Yasser Arafat. So the poster that was put out by, and I liked the name Women Will Speak rather than Let Women Speak, which is sort of asking for permission. It's a right for Women Will Speak. So the flyer put out by the Women's Action Group says, well, has the definition of woman, adult, human, female. No child is born in the wrong body. A biological reality, not gender ideology. If women cannot stand in a public place and say men cannot be women, then we do not have women's rights at all. Helen Joyce, Sex Matters co-founder and author of Trans When Ideology Meets Reality. Now, there apparent smoking guns that there were Nazis at this Women Will Speak rally is because the microphone and speakers were supplied by Matt Trehe. So he's the leader of the National Workers Alliance. So he leads that group of freedom activists who march through the CBD every week because obviously the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And the reason that they call him a Nazi is because 6 years ago he was a member of the Lad Society, which was also founded by Thomas Sowell. And Jacob Hirschner, who is the founder of the National Socialist Network, was also a member. The Lad Society was a white male fraternity, but didn't have an explicit National Socialist ideology like the National Socialist Network and the European Australian Movement, which is Thomas Sowell's new group. So the various Antifa accounts say that he helped, Matt Trehe helped train them, but there's no evidence that he is part of either National Socialist Network or the European Australian Movement. And also, they noticed the black sun tattoo of Filthy Simpson, who will join us as a guest eyewitness very shortly. Victoria Police, they deployed their public order response team, Port, to, well, attempt to prevent the Transtifa thugs from launching an all-out physical attacks on the attendees. And this is the Freak Parade that you would have seen some of these clips already that have gone viral and shamed this city and state. I think in response to that blaring music from Transtifa, the Women Will Speak organizers should have blasted Aerosmith's "Dude Looks Like a Lady." That song from the 70s seems to have aged like fine wine. Well, if you walk through the Melbourne CBD just on any given day, you'll encounter many dudes who look like ladies. Michael Nelson, who hosts White Australia First, he doesn't seek out these freaks that he films and heckles. They just appear. So you can understand why Dan Andrews won 3 elections in a row with all the freaks voting for him. Now, you saw that man's pink wig fall off when Victoria Police tackled him to the ground. It reminded me of Austin Powers. That ain't no woman, it's a man, baby. And Victoria Police claimed in their statement that they arrested 2 women. Are we sure that they are biological women? Because Victoria has gender self-ID laws so that anyone can change their gender every 12 months to whatever they like. So it says here 2 women aged in their 20s were arrested at the scene and expected to be charged on summons. And Victoria Police, they just read their ID documents and say, oh, well, it says they're women. They're not going to do a Mick Dundee crotch grab like in Crocodile Dundee. Remember that when he's told that the Sheila that he's talking to is actually a bloke, and grabs him in the crutch, and he's like, that's a bloke that's dressed like a Sheila. Now, probably the most disturbing, disgusting, alarming part is when Auditing Australia, one of the live streamers there, Shane is his name, he was there with his daughter, was attacked by a mob of these Transtifa terrorists. Now, I'm going to play Shane's live stream footage, and then that's going to be followed by Nanya Business, who was also there streaming. So he sent me his exclusive content where you can see the other angle of Transtifa's assault on Auditing Australia. And then Phil will join me when we get back.
You're gonna allow this to happen? You're gonna allow it to happen? Are you going to allow this to happen? Are you going to allow it to happen? Are you going to allow it to happen? Are you going to allow it to happen? Every one of you officers? Are you? Are you going to allow it to happen? Every one of you. Every one of you. Every one of you. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You'll be fucking recharged. Fucking kill yourself. Fucking kill yourself. Get the fuck out
Emma,
of here.
go with me. Go with
Fucking
me.
eat a shotgun. Fuck you. Fuck you, God. Fuck you, God. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking monster. Fuck you, fucking Nazi. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here, Nazi. Throw it. Throw it.
See, you're a fucking boot. My phone's stolen. I got his phone stolen.
Don't go! Mate, not down! Fucking not down! Mate, you've been translating here, right? So just get over there. Yeah, we'll sort it out later. Get back over there. You guys get over this side. I'll watch it for 20 minutes. Move! You gotta move! Now! Move back Get back over behind the barrier. These folk need to get back behind. Go back behind. You got to take your mate back. You got to go back.
I need an ambulance.
You need to move.
I need an ambulance, please.
You're being directed to move on. We are going to get you an ambulance. We need to get you to a safe area.
Phil, welcome to Tim's News Explosion. What's that logo in the background? Anti-woke.
That's my logo. It's legal, so it's all good. It's
yes.
legal.
Some people say it looks similar to a recently banned symbol.
I don't know what symbol that would be, but what about that one? We made that and we're allowed to have it because it came through border security and they approved it.
That's the tattoo, similar to the tattoo you have on your leg that was snapped
up here too.
On your head.
Yeah. It's the black sun. There's no problem with the black sun.
To my knowledge, wasn't it the Japanese Imperial Japan used it? I'm sure that a lot of people in the chat will be able to correct me. So what is it? Choose Arcade says, who's this guy? Filthy Simpson. He is a eyewitness and also was a security for one of the female attendees, and we saw you in Nanya's business footage.
I just sent you something too. You can. It's like some slowed down footage and shit that you can play. I'm in the process of putting it all together so you can see me. I don't know. I punch one dude twice and I punch another dude, but they started attacking one of the dudes who's the other bald headed fellow there as well. They started attacking him. I ran into it and tried to grab the dude that was assaulting AA. What I was doing was trying to prevent crimes from happening because these people were trying to hurt somebody. So what I did was I helped de-escalate the situation by standing in the middle and defending myself when they attacked me. So I got one dude twice and I got another dude once, and then that other dude was the one that was yelling at him, and he's like yelling at him, kill yourself and all that shit, that dude. So in my footage, which is on Odyssey, it shows him, like me and him shaping up and stuff, like, and then we go around the corner and the dude's still assaulting auditing Australia, and I give him a kick. I was aiming for his stomach, but he must have took a step back, got him in the nuts. And Lucky Lance, tell your missus I said hello.
I don't think that's the real Lucky Lance. I think that might be a fake account.
Probably. But yes. So, and then you see that I'm alone. In my footage, you can see I could see there was like a heap of Antifa around me, and it didn't scare me. I was like, oh,
they were all male, it seemed. Were there any biological females in that Antifa?
5% maybe.
Crowd? Pardon?
5 to 10% maybe.
Well, there was one who we're pretty sure is female, and she's a blast from the past. That is Sue Munro. So what was her she had a poster fart, which was feminists procreating, reactionary. I'm
a transphobe. I don't believe they should be doing what they're doing. Why are you cutting your dick off and shit? That's not right. Why are you cutting your tits off? How are you going to have kids if you want kids when you snap out of this phase? How?
Well, you can't. And
41% of you kill yourself, so you're destined to kill yourself. Good work.
You're mutilating your once a male takes estrogen, that's it. They can't can't have children.
Good work, you fucking idiots. Wow. You're put on this earth to, what's the word, procreate, and you ruin the thing that does that.
One of the detransitioners who spoke was Mel Jeffries, who was on that 7 News Spotlight. So she had a double mastectomy as an adult.
That's the one that took its fake tits out, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, good work. Good work.
Did you get to have a listen to some of the women who spoke? Or
No, because there was another stage there where Antifa, like a really weird Antifa thing, pulled out, like, it looked like a big condom. Like, it was like, what the fuck? And then like started spraying shit out of it. And I walked up, and because the cops couldn't get to him, whatever the fuck, the clown, the cops couldn't get to the clown. So the clown was in a spot where it could try to do stuff to women. So I've just pushed the cunt.
Was that a clown, like actually like dressed like a clown, or are you using a figure of speech?
Yeah, they're all clowns. They put makeup on and they're men. They're clowns.
Well, here is I use this in the here's some of these so, and it looks like, what is that? The ones in the green jackets. So what is that? They call themselves anti-fascist skinheads. I think they're the ones
They call them
there you go.
sharps. Oh, no, sharps.
Yeah, they're the ones who claim that they chased out Nazis from their Thornbury Antifa fundraiser, which well, that's what they claim, but Antifa are proven liars. Going back to this photo, like, what is it? There's one with a Palestinian kafala tea towel, and then it looks like a dude.
Tutu. One's got a tutu
wearing a
on.
tutu.
Does he know if he went to any Muslim nation at all, he'd get chucked off a building or stoned?
I think a lot of them
That's no word of a lie. They'd do that. If they have a gay pride event, it's shut down within 5 minutes. Everyone's arrested, and some of them are killed.
They were probably down at the Melbourne container port the night before because
apparently them sharps were, yeah.
They were blocking apparently parts for Israeli weapons from going off to sea. Yet they were blocking economic activity.
You'd think that if that was the case, that there would be a military presence around it.
I'm not sure
if
Victoria Police mandated at a designated area where they can force people to remove their face masks. Now, Antifa do it. They say that they're COVID safe, but it's a double thing to hide their identity, because they would have, if like
mask on, fuck it, mask off.
If Victoria Police weren't there, they would have full on just like charged and bashed these women.
They would have. Yes, these weird clown men, they 100% would at any stage attack a woman in a group, that is, because they're a bunch of pussies. They would at any stage attack a woman, but it's like there was a group of 30 women coming to the event together. Only 2 of them rocked up because the other 28 were too scared to come.
The scheduled women,
yeah, the real women, the real fucking XX. Okay, let's get that right.
Yeah, they have wombs, can bleed down there.
Correct, and they don't have a dick either.
Oh, what's that trend of female swimmers who are wearing swimsuits that have at their vaginal area not a dude.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna make some G-strings for chicks that say I love BWC.
BWC. Okay. But yeah, so Victoria Police, they said they arrested 2 women. A lot of us are highly skeptical. Their ID documents might have said women. Did you witness the arrests?
They were blokes.
But yeah, their papers said that they were women, so Victoria Police said that they were women.
No. They were blokes. They had dicks. But anyway, yes, I think that you didn't watch my footage, and my footage has got everything you're talking about too, which is on
Oh,
my
I can't.
Odyssey.
We're in the middle of a live show. I can't.
Yeah,
I
I know.
can't.
Good
I
work.
can't. Well, you should have sent it to me like ages ago. Because I told you
What, you
last.
couldn't look at my Telegram? Shit.
You sent it like you
Shout
sent
out
it.
to GTV people as well. Thank you for having me on there. That's why I'm not on YouTube anymore.
And now, in the footage that I played, which belongs to None Your Business, he's a very. I wonder if they claimed he was a Nazi because he was a half Afro-Caribbean, half Mauritian, and has these long dreadlocks.
Well, we got to get shit straight. I'm a National Socialist. I'm a Natsoc.
Yeah, so they can claim you, Antifa, as a Nazi, but I don't think that they can claim Nanya. Now,
Well, Nunya's a good guy, and no matter what anyone says, he can. He like me. We've both been prisoners of war. He went to jail because he fucking video recorded cops and shit. Fuck that shit, man. Like,
yeah, that's what he became
how's
famous
coming?
for, just particularly during the COVID lockdowns era, just trolling police, and he'd always say, "My name is Nanya Business."
Yeah. Also, I was listening to the other dude that helped in the situation.
Yeah,
I
that was
listening to him.
that was
talking to
Matt
him.
Trehe, from
No,
the
no, it's a different one.
Slides.
But
That looked like Matt.
no, it's a different one. But he was like saying to the cops, they're assaulting him. You need to go help. Like, he said it heaps of times, and I've got it on footage. And then I went, no, they're fucking, like, they're assaulting him. I ran over to help him because we need to protect our people, especially from these weird.
Yeah, all Victoria Police yelled was "Move, move!" Like they just have that on auto repeat.
Well, then the horses came in. I do believe that there might have been extra police there because they knew I was showing up, and I would probably it was put everywhere. No, I'm not being a smart ass about that, bro. I'm not being like what's the word, narcissistic or nothing, man, because they watched me.
Yeah, so Auditing Australia, Shane, they stole his phone. He said that he needed an ambulance. Did the ambulance came, or did you decide to?
He fainted at the end of my footage, and then some ambulance came a little bit later. But he's all right now. He's good.
Well, that's good because there hasn't been an update on his channel.
Show the pictures, please.
Which pictures?
Telegram.
Well, I haven't got your one. I've just got the ones that I saved. Here's
We'll
another.
just go and quickly save that. It'll take you 2 seconds. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was disgusting. Can you not do that again?
There was this sign here: "Keep TERFs out of women's bathroom."
That's the one that that's one of the ones that I was fighting.
Yeah, so that's a man.
Yeah. So the TERFs are the ones that were running the joint. I walked up to them and said, "Hello, real women." They all gave me a hello. They were like grandmas, bro.
Well, shouldn't they just be called women? Why are we using this term "real women"?
Because they're using the word as science fiction, so they're fake women, and I've got to let them know that these are real women here.
And you're a real biological male, aren't you?
Correct.
Yeah. You're not a trans man, because this is the other thing.
I would probably be in that 41% if I was a trans man.
But you've got a dick.
I was born with it too. If it was the other way around, I'd probably be dead now.
Well, thank you for joining Tim's News Explosion tonight, Phil. I've got to get
Thank
on
you.
with the rest of the week's news, but thanks for joining us as an eyewitness. And yeah, glad you're okay.
Hey,
After
kick a
so,
commie. Oh, we should do kick a commie day. When are you doing? What was it? Punch a Nazi? Can we do kick a commie?
I
I
don't know.
already started it. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you might get done for incitement because it doesn't. It only works one way.
Did not kick a commie. That's what I say.
All right. See you later, Phil.
All right, bye, mate.
All right. Now, Victoria Police, they said in response that they wanted a permit system for future protests because they're saying we're spending thousands of dollars in overtime hours. Of course, Victoria Police want more power, though they could easily arrest the criminals who had already committed criminal acts at these various rallies. I mean, down at the Melbourne container port, I mean, they just let these Antifa Socialists just sit there for hours. I mean, how come they're not getting out the rubber bullets and the special ops tanks? I mean, why aren't they being as heavy-handed as they did with the peaceful anti-lockdown protests? Iron Duke 99 says only the left will get permits, and they probably wouldn't. The unauthorized counter protesters, they probably wouldn't. Like they still haven't. Victoria Police tracked down the radical queers who assaulted them at Melbourne's LGBT Pride rally. I mean, people who assaulted them. But the Allen government is refusing. Well, it's a request from the Police Association, Wayne Gatt, but he seemed to hint that that's what Victoria Police wants. Maybe Victoria Police shouldn't have sacked all those workers who didn't get the jab. Then they'd have more resources, and they also tarnished their reputation during the COVID lockdowns. Now only sadists, the ones who, well, those videos of them brutalizing the public will appeal to join Victoria Police. There's a lot who don't want. I don't want to join Victoria Police now, given what they had to do. What they decided to do during the COVID lockdowns. The Liberal opposition, they want the move on laws that they introduced when Ted Baillieu, Dennis Napthine were the premiers, but the Allen government is not budging on that because Victoria Police could just say to anybody, you need to move on for any reason and go. Now, as I mentioned, the Women Will Speak rally, it was held almost to the 1 year anniversary of the Kelly J. Keen's Let Women Speak rally. Now, John Prosciutto is already being sued by Moira Deeming for saying that she and the Let Women Speak people are associated with neo-Nazis. So that will be held in the federal court in September. And also, John Prosciutto last week, he was served with defamation papers by Kelly J. Keen and also by Angie Jones, who hosts Turf Talk. And she decided to get one of fellow TERFs to hand deliver the defamation concerns notice to John Prosciutto in parliamentary grounds. And this is what happened.
They've already been served. They've already been served. No, they've already been served. No, they've already been served. My lawyers have them.
No.
My lawyers have them. They have. My lawyers have told
You're
them.
required to take them.
I'm not required to take them. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. And this is outrageous. My lawyers have accepted service.
This is not outrageous. This is
Oh, okay.
come to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have your name, please?
Yes, Louise Carey.
Are you a formal server? Can I...
Yeah, so Bushido, I'm a lawyer. I don't need to receive this, basically trying to belittle her there. Now, we'll continue on with the, well, I guess you could call it the trans report. Now, up in New South Wales, a passed after a marathon all night sitting of the New South Wales Parliament, the gay and transgender conversion therapy ban laws passed. There was an attempt in the upper house to remove the trans conversion ban, because that basically criminalizes, well, when not immediately affirming a child when they say that they're trans. If even questioning them, that's, you could be in jail for 5 years. Victoria and Queensland already have gay and trans conversion therapy bans. Queensland also has gender self ID, like Victoria. This is Liberal Kelly Sloan, member for Vaucluse, near Potts Point, near Malcolm Turnbull's mansion. Corridor selfies during a very long night in New South Wales Parliament. The bells rang about 6:45 a.m. with the passing of the Bail and Crimes Bill. That was to make it harder for the youths accused of crimes, 50 Shades of Black out in mainly Moree, New South Wales, and the ban on gay conversion. Time for some sleep. And you can see in the gleefully in the selfie with Kelly Sloan is former New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet, who is a full a full converted moderate now, talking about conversion therapy. The moderates seem to have fully converted Dominic Perrottet from conservative to moderate, and when he was running for re-election, backed well, it was led by Alex Greenwich, the independent member for Sydney, former convener of Australian Marriage Equality. So that has passed now. And next on Alex Greenwich equality bill list is gender self-ID for New South Wales. And gender self-ID is, you don't need to have surgery or anything like that. You can just change your gender to whatever you want. In Victoria, as long as it's not obscene. So I think if you tried to change your gender in Victoria to attack helicopter, like Lauren Southern, remember she identified as that as a troll, I don't think that would be allowed. But yes, it is pretty much in Australia very very difficult to question the LGBT rainbow cult. Obviously, things are changing elsewhere. Also, in the, I should mention, the ACT, they made it legal for those 14 years and over to change their gender and their name without their parents' permission. Here at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital, reportedly that a double mastectomy was performed on a 15-year-old biological girl. This was reported by Binary Australia. A mother bragged about it in an online forum. The Victorian Health Minister, Mary-Ann Thomas, denied that double mastectomies happen to underage girls in Victoria. On that forum, there was another mother of a 12-year-old girl who hoped that their daughter could get a double mastectomy. Now, over in the United States, so there have been many states that have banned child gender transitions, though corporations, they still are, well, accommodating Men who still look very manly are using their female facilities. So Planet Fitness, they cancelled the membership and banned them. A woman for photographing a transgender customer shaving in the women's locker room. And so it is now being claimed that the gym has since assigned a staffer to accompany the person into the ladies only area and is telling other women to back off. So Patricia Silva, whose membership was cancelled. Another friend of mine went to that gym the other day and was in there shaving his face. He is dressed as a man, his hair cut short. He appeared that he was dressed, shaved his face, and getting ready to leave for the day. So he has an employee assisting him in the bathroom. My friend said to his accompanied Planet Fitness rep that he needs to leave. In response, the woman told my friend that if you're uncomfortable, you can go into a stall, which is a private changing area. In my opinion, all change rooms should have private stalls. I mean, I'm not comfortable getting undressed, changed, in front of other males. I'm not even comfortable going to a public urinal. I mean, I value my privacy at a public toilet or a public change room, and I think we need privacy all around. SD here says, get Tom Sewell on. I think SD said above, are you an anti-Sewell on? We're going to get to the latest Tom Sewell news in a moment. And you probably all would have seen Dylan Mulvaney releasing a song, Days of Girlhood, which is auto-tuned, or should I say autogynephilia tuned. And Dylan Mulvaney had a photo shoot with Lady Gaga for International Women's Day. So two are just standard clown world. Then there is this utterly disgusting, horrific male child murderer who now says that he's a woman. So this is from the Daily Mail. An 18-year-old transgender woman has pleaded guilty to the brutal murder of a 12-year-old girl she allegedly had a sexual relationship with. I reckon the Daily Mail's trolling by using the she pronouns. So Ash Cooper, that's who, well, his birth name is Josh Cooper, will spend at least 15 years in prison. 15 years for murder. It should be life, after she admitted to the shooting death of Morgan Connors in the trailer she shared with her father in Pennsylvania in November 2022. Police say that the teen called a female friend on an Instagram video after the murder and showed off Connor's body covered in blood and asked for help disposing of it. When she was arrested, Cooper reportedly told cops the murder was an accident and that she was sorry and scared for going to jail for the rest of his life. And it says here that the teen claimed she had been cleaning out her gun's dad's safe and was going through his guns and ammo before Connors was dropped off at her house. She claimed her dad removed the safe's battery, which enabled the combination lock. And going down here, Cooper, who was 16 at the time of the murder, also allegedly told police Connors was in a sexual relationship. Police were called to the murder scene, where a woman called 911 saying her daughter had received a phone call from Cooper, who said he had killed someone before he flipped the camera and showed Connor's bloody legs and feet. According to court documents, Connor was laying face down with her pants around her ankles and a gunshot to the back. So raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl, a Josh Cooper, who has decided to become Ash Cooper. She in prison. Now, because Josh Cooper committed the murder while a minor, he can't receive the death penalty. Many people in the X comments said wood chipper. But the Supreme Court has said that minors can't be executed, though there's nothing unconstitutional about sentencing a murderer to life in prison. I mean, the two murderers of that British transgender Brianna Gay got life, and the UK doesn't have the death penalty. So this murderer, Josh Cooper, could get out in 15 years. And it was uncovered during the investigation that officials discovered Cooper was accused of sexual assault in a previous unrelated case. She was found guilty in juvenile court. The victim was in court on Thursday as Cooper received his sentence. The Daily Mail ends with the male pronouns there. What would so Brucey says wood chippers are pretty cool. Let me know in the comments. What should be the death penalty for child rapists? Although the U.S. Supreme Court has said that death penalty for non-capital crimes is unconstitutional. Should it be A, wood chipper? B, should it be just shot at point blank range, or should they have their genitals cut off and they're left to die while they bleed from their wound? Because that would be the most painful way to die. I mean, men, we almost throw up when we get hit really hard in the balls. And so you can imagine having like a penis and testicles ripped off, just how painful that would be. So let me know in the comments what you think should be the appropriate death punishment for child murderers, child rapists and murderers like Josh Cooper. Now, over in the UK, there was another transgender farce. This was a 26-year-old cat killer, Scarlett Blake, who was given a life sentence for the murder of George Martin Carino yesterday, being classed as a woman. And so Scarlett Blake got the inspiration for killing a cat and targeting the 30-year-old BMW worker as he walked home at night from watching the Netflix documentary Don't Fuck with Cats. And so J.K. Rowling said with the reports calling Scarlett Blake a woman, "I'm sick of this shit. This is not a woman. These are not our crimes." Though I remember it was Dr. Anne Lesby who said that there's so much transphobia in society that trans people only feel safe in transitioning in prison after they've been convicted of an offence. Dr. Anne Lesby is the nemesis of the Daily Wire's Michael Knowles. We're going to get into Daily Wire news later on as well. So I think that is the end of the trans report. Now, Thomas Sewell and the National Socialist Network weren't at the Women Will Speak, though Thomas Sewell said on Twitter X that if he and the NSN guys had known about it, he would have gone. He said, "We didn't realize it was on again this year, but no, we are growing, we are becoming stronger, and eventually we'll be back and destroy pedo freaks." And also he responded to the 9 News. I'm not sure if it was the 9 News report. It was Mitch Clark from the Herald Sun's video of Shane auditing Australia getting assaulted. He said, a a left-wing terror group committed a serious and cowardly masked violent disorder up to 15 years in jail and performed an armed robbery, stealing the man's phone, another 5 years in jail. Will this go to the Supreme Court? Home raids, arrest, car stolen, Herald Sun docs. Because on Friday, Thomas Sewell and Jacob Hirschnet were in the Supreme Court of Victoria because Victoria Police and the Crown prosecution decided to appeal what they termed the inadequate sentence of Thomas Sewell and Jacob Hirschnet that they received last year after they pleaded guilty to one charge each of violent disorder. So this was when they were stalked by Antifa spies in the Cathedral Ranges in May 2021. So Sewell received a 37-day prison sentence with time already served, and Jacob Hirschnet received a 14-month corrections order with 200 hours of community service, which has already been completed. So it seems that the Victoria Police and the Crown prosecution, they're appealing because the media didn't like that Judge Kelly Blair, in sentencing them, said they had good prospects for rehabilitation and wished them the luck. Now, she said, Kelly Blair, that they had good prospects of rehabilitation in terms of not doing violent disorder again. And so one of the arguments the prosecution put forward was on this, and also they claimed that a tougher sentence needs to be implemented because masks being worn at the time, although Sewell and Hirschnet weren't wearing masks. The second argument, the crime was not in the low range of the offence, but one of the judges corrected the prosecution that it was, and was even considered by the previous prutter in the court, a county court hearing. And so the first argument was, so they're wanting him to get Sewell to get 6 months in prison. He spent 7 months in solitary confinement. So they're basically just they're not wanting to send Sewell back to prison, but just say give him the full time serve. So it looks, it looks tough on paper. Now the 3 judges have reserved their judgment and will report on the final decision when it's handed down. So this was the Unshackled's proper analysis of this farcical Supreme Court appeal. It's basically double jeopardy, trying to have a retrial in an appeal, which is not how an appeal works. But of course, this is how 9 News Australia on Friday night decided to report it. This was their host, Tom Steinford.
To keep himself out of jail following his assault on a group of hikers in the Grampians. The right-wing extremist claims the case against him is a political witch hunt. Laura Turner reports.
Neo-Nazi Thomas Sewell in a fight to keep his freedom, his girlfriend by his side for moral support. Crown prosecutors arguing the 37-day sentence he served for a group attack on 6 hikers in the Grampians was manifestly inadequate.
It's a political witch hunt.
Political witch hunt, why do you say that?
Because that's what it is.
The Department of Public Prosecutions wants Sewell re-sentenced to more time behind bars. This was a serious example of the offence of violent disorder. This must have been terrifying offending for the victims, who were a completely innocent group of people. Sewell was on bail for his attack on a Channel 9 security guard when he, his co-accused Jacob Hirschnet, and a group of masked knife-wielding white supremacists attacked the hikers in 2021. Thomas Sewell had already spent 210 days in jail by the time he was sentenced, all of it in solitary confinement. His lawyer arguing if he was to be re-sentenced to more jail time, it would be excessive. Dermot Dan KC told the court Sewell's time waiting for sentence was the hardest time imaginable, though his client painted a different picture outside court.
How did you cope in solitary confinement for 6 months? Was it as hard as your lawyer said?
It was meditative.
Jacob Hussant had his mum with him for support, arguing the Grampians attack was the first time he'd ever been violent and that the community corrections order he was handed was adequate. 3 appeal court judges reserved the decision for another date. Laura Turner, 9 News.
A driver has been arrested accused of deliberately mowing.
And Dawn correctly pointed out, lol, innocent hikers. Yeah, they didn't do nothing. I remember Thomas Sewell told the media after they were sentenced in the county court that they were gay Jewish communists. And they said all that, and you heard the chief prosecutor say the innocent victims must have been terrified. The only injury one of them got was they cut their finger on the smashed windshield, although one of them did wet their pants, which was quite funny. So Pete Osman says, got any proof of that? You didn't say allegedly. I reckon that's prejudicing the trial. I reckon should sue for defamation. Now let's move on. Already now we're into the program. Is the mass immigration, some would say flooding of Australia is continuing. So for the month of this January alone, there were 125,000 permanent long-term arrivals who came here, the highest on record. So this meant a net growth in permanent and long-term arrivals at 53,000, or 40% higher than the highest January intake ever previously recorded. 82,000 of these were international students, as that's an increase of 23,000 on the previous January. So we had 680,000 net migrants last year. We reached 27 million Australians earlier this year. And despite governments saying that they're going to build more homes to house these new Australians and the Australians who, can't find a home at the moment, Australian cities now occupy Melbourne, Adelaide, the top 10 are in the top 10 for homelessness worldwide. Only 166,000 new dwellings were built last calendar year. Now, if you calculate that by the proportion of the increase in population, that's one new residence for every 4.5 people. So, and we had Liverpool Mayor Ted Manoonan say that his area is at breaking point of a migration surge, with more than 100 new residents a week contributing to the record increase. And in southwestern Sydney, where the city of Liverpool is based, it's 500 new residents a week. Now, Macro Business, founded by Keith Van Onselen, who has made the economic case against mass migration, which is the safe. It's safe for the media and politicians to talk about that. This is one of the graphs here by state. So New South Wales, Victoria, you can see the bearing the brunt of net overseas migration. You can see the drop during COVID, and whoa, this surge. Now, remember Anthony Albanese said, that we're just catching up from the COVID lockdown border closure years. And so the new target for net migration is 375,000. So, but if you do 55,000 net migrants by 12, that's almost the same 660,000 as last year. So we're being taken for another ride. And COVID showed that when politicians want to slam the border shut, then they can. There's a will that there's a way. And apparently to build all of the to reach the home national home building accords between the federal and state governments and national cabinet. We are 90,000 tradies short of reaching them. And there's some who argue that we should import skilled migrants to build the homes. Well, where are the skilled migrants going to build as well? Now, of course, this is just the economics. And for those so-called libertarians who claim the market will accommodate all of these mass migrants because, if business wants more people coming in to fill jobs, they should just let them all in. The thing that these foolish, well, I assume they're foolish or they're being dishonest, is that governments still control the other economic levers. Housing, infrastructure, so much of our capacity to deal with population growth is controlled by government. But of course, we're not even talking about the cultural change that, to put it in the most polite terms, that mass migration is bringing. We've had the bipartisan pivot to mass migration from India. There was a good cartoon by Johannes Leake in The Australian, which has the Indians arriving. We've made it to Australia. Where can we finally have a roof over our heads? And Albanese says, whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now, Indian migrants to Australia, they're different from the Asians. The Asians are happy to live in apartment dog boxes, as they're called. Like you look at Box Hill and Glen Waverley, they're already sky high with lots of Asians living there, but Indians like to live in family homes. So that's why they're settling in places like Cranbourne, Calcallo, down in Point Cook and Wyndham Vale. So they want they're taking up the urban sprawl family properties there, and which is why we're seeing the pivot now by particularly the New South Wales and Victorian government. The big housing build, what's called in Victoria, to build up, so build more high rises, which will contain probably many dog boxes. And Peak Osterman says, I can't help but notice we still aren't being asked. Well, Pauline Hanson in the Senate last week tried to put forward a plebiscite for the Australian people to have their say on mass migration, but Australians are only allowed to vote on issues that the political establishment elites approve of, or when they know they're going to get the right answer. And so this is Pauline Hanson's media release. According to the Liberals, they said the question was too complex to put to the people. And Labor just said, how dare Pauline Hanson even raise the issue? And so also voting against was the Greens, Jackie Lambie and David Pocock, absolutely terrified of what they know Australians would say in a compulsory national vote on immigration. Remember when Fraser Anning, he was torn apart for suggesting a vote on mass immigration because he said it would be a final solution to this issue of mass immigration, and he was torn apart by the media. And then, of course, well, I don't need to tell you what happened to him after that, but he was basically ran out of the country after the 2019 election. He's now over in the United States. Without all the migrants, we can't have the fake rise in GBT and the continued inflation of politicians' property portfolio and boomers' property portfolio as well. So yeah, we're in a per capita recession it's like the GDP figures are just slightly above zero. So they can claim the Albanese government we're not in recession. Now, moving on to the recent state election results, I should say. So we had last weekend the Queensland local government elections and two Queensland state by-elections. There is a Queensland state election on October 26, and in the aftermath of those Queensland elections, it is now bipartisan between the Labor Premier Stephen Giggles Miles and the Liberal National Opposition Leader David Crisafulli that they are not going to proceed with the knockdown and rebuild of the Gabba for the 2032 Olympics, which would have cost $2 billion. But they're not going to go with the recommendations of a review into the Olympic grounds by former Liberal National Party Mayor of Brisbane, Graham Quirk, which was to build a new stadium at Victoria Park. But that would take away green space from the city. So instead, no matter who wins the election, there's going to be a $1.5 billion upgrade to the Queensland Athletics and Sports Centre, which was the original venue of the 1982 Brisbane Commonwealth Games when it was called the Queen Elizabeth II Arena. And this is going to give the athletics track a temporary capacity of 40,000, but then afterwards, despite spending 1.5 billion on this new stadium, this isn't going to even have the opening and closing ceremony. That's actually going to be at Suncorp Stadium, the rugby league stadium, but that can't host athletics because it's rectangular. After the Olympics, the government's going to tear down 26,000 of those seats, so there's only going to be 14,000 left at the athletics track. So it's going to be basically unusable, and there's no public transport to it either, only buses. So this is a complete waste of taxpayer money and it's not value for money for the public either. And it was actually leaked last week that the Queensland government considered cancelling the Brisbane Olympic Games, like how the Victorian government, Dan Andrews, said he was a genius for cancelling the 2026 Commonwealth Games that he bid for because costs are blown out to 6.9 billion. The Auditor General said that figure was inflated because it involved a double counting. Dan Andrews said he was a genius for the state only having to agree to 380 million of compensation to the Commonwealth Games Federation, even though it could have saved the state and the taxpayers $380 million by not bidding for the games in the first place. But an Auditor General has found that the actual cancellation cost is 589 million. But what's a few extra million to this state government? It's not their money. Iron Duke says hosting the Olympics is a waste of money. Well, isn't Birmingham City broke now? 2 years after it hosted the Commonwealth Games, and what's the legacy of the Olympic venues in London from 2012? And taxpayers footing the bill for stadiums also was one of the main issues in the Tasmanian state election. The Liberal Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe called an early election 1 year early because he couldn't negotiate with two defecting Liberal MPs who wanted more transparency and accountability around the fact that for the AFL Stadium in Hobart, Tasmania, so that costs $715 million. The state government is funding $375 million. Federal government is funding $240 million. This is a state with less than 600,000 people. It's only going to host 7 AFL games per season, but I assume Test and Big Bash cricket will be played there. Although it seems that Bellerive Oval has served as an international test venue and Big Bash venue for many years. So why can't an AFL team play there? And also the federal government is and the state government are putting in $65 million each for the upgrade of York Park in Launceston. So the other Tasmanian AFL games can be there. And it was very sneaky by the AFL to hold the launch of the Tasmanian Devils football club the week before the election and getting 150,000 foundation members signing up. And so that's over a quarter of the state's population. And now Jackie Lambie, who looks like she'll have the balance of power because Tasmania has the Hare Clark multi-member seat proportional representation system, and they've gone from 5 seats of 5 members each to 5 seats of 7 members each. So the quota has gone down to get a seat from 16.7 to 12.5%. So Jackie Lambie has got 2 seats so far. The independent candidates have got 2. The Greens have got 4. Labor have got 10. Liberals 13. Well short of a majority of 18 out of 35. Liberal Party lost 12% of the vote. Labor and the Tasmanian Greens each gained a percentage point. Jackie Lambie's got 6.7% of the vote. So this continues a national trend away from the major parties, though Jeremy Rockcliffe claimed that he'd won a 4th term for the Liberals there. Dawn Browning says, Jeepers Creepers, how do we reduce our taxes? And bread and circuses. The AFL, they basically have got the Tasmanians over a barrel because if there's no stadium, there's no AFL team. And AFL is a religion in that state like it is in Victoria. And it's seen, so 150,000 have voted with signing up for membership. So, I mean, we're in a cost of living crisis. The construction of stadiums is going to take away from the buildings of roads, rail, and homes as well, because there's not infinite resources. All right, now let's go over to the UK, where last bit of trans news is that over there, the NHS has banned the prescription of puberty blockers for minors. They can still get them in privately run hospitals, but the NHS, well, that's Britain's state religion, the cult of the NHS.
Let's just bring you a bit of breaking news, which may be of interest to some of you. It's about puberty blockers. Now, these are drugs that are used to delay the changes of puberty in transgender youngsters. In terms of how they are prescribed by the NHS, there has been a lot of controversy over the last few years about this. At the moment, they are only prescribed to children attending gender identity services as part of clinical research, and they are not routinely offered to children at gender identity clinics, but they are still offered. Well, the government, NHS England, has just confirmed that children will no longer be prescribed puberty blockers at gender identity clinics. This is coming from NHS England. It just broke in the last few moments.
Now, Liz Truss, the former the Conservative Prime Minister, attempted a private members bill to criminalise the prescribing of puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones to minors. That was filibustered in the House of Commons by the Labor opposition and, well, Labor government by the end of the year, who decided to talk about ferret names instead. Now, UK Labour, they've promised because they will win the next election, so Keir Starmer will be Prime Minister. Labour will have a thumping majority. The latest poll had the Tories at 19%, Labour at 46%, and Reform on 15%. Though Richard Tice again shooting the Reform momentum, shooting the party in in its foot by capitulating to hope not hate, disendorsing candidates who posted spicy stuff on social media, and claims that he's in the sensible center because he's attacked from the far left and the far right. I mean, please give me a break. I want radicals. I mean, that's why I have the respect for George Galloway, leader of the Workers' Party of Britain and member for Rochdale. Like, I do hope the Workers' Party of Britain does well in the general election, because he's a radical from the left. He's not he's not trying to please everybody like Sir Keir Starmer. Now, though George Galloway, he has been criticised this past week because he had David Clues on, who has been spreading Kate Middleton conspiracy theories that she might be dead after, well, there's been sightings of her, but a lot of people suspect that they are AI, and there was the photoshopped a photo from Mother's Day, which Kate said that she took the fall for that. There are rumors that she's dead, been killed, or there is I saw that the National Enquirer tabloid in the United States claimed that Kate is in a hospital for a secret eating disorder. There was a video that was put out on the Prince and Princesses of Wait Twitter X that said that after her abdominal surgery, Kate had been diagnosed with cancer, and she wanted to break it to her children first before telling the public, and ask for privacy to recover. And so after that, all these people on Twitter X were saying, shame on those conspiracy theorists. We wish Kate all the best. I defend people's rights to believe in conspiracy theories. I mean, regarding the royal family, David Icke has said they're reptilians for 25 years. It's only in recent times that there's been this push to ban conspiracy theorists from the web and even criminalize them. France has made illegal criticizing the mRNA vaccines, though conspiracy theories are free speech. It doesn't matter if they're far-fetched or and how ridiculous that they are. They're free speech, and you have the right to believe what you believe, and you can try and put a convincing case out there. Doesn't mean that people are going to believe it. But according to one of the UK's worst Britons, and I don't know why he didn't make Dan Wootton's list of the 50 worst people in Britain, Jeremy Vine, who is suing Joey Barton for creating the bike nonce hashtag on his Channel 5 show, Vine with 5. This is what he suggested. He posed as a question to his talking head guests what needed to be done to suppress the Kate conspiracy theories.
Well, I know. But I mean, Jenny, is there any argument to say, this will sound crazy, but China does it. We've got to now take control of Twitter and shut it down for the time being.
I don't think we should take control of Twitter and shut it down. I do think we should.
Yes, it is a batshit crazy idea, Jeremy Vine, to take control of Twitter, or should I say, and shut it down, or should I say, bat soup crazy, since he was saying that China does that. Now, Jeremy Vine claimed, I wasn't saying this. I was just posing a question. Although the fact that he thought that was a question worthy of discussion, even though he prefaced this may sound crazy, I mean, just shows where his mindset is. And he's despite the fact that he called Alex Belfield the Jimmy Savile of trolling and got him sent to 5.5 years in prison for stalking. Jeremy Vine continues to post his videos of him stalking motorists with his pervy bike helmet camera and posting them on Twitter. This may sound crazy, but I propose that Elon Musk shuts down Jeremy Vine's Twitter X account, and I also propose that he is banned from TV and radio, and also that he's imprisoned for the rest of his life. So I'm just posing that as a question. It may sound crazy, but, you know, Jeremy Vine too can play at that game. Although if I mention Jeremy Vine every week now, what is it? Am I going to get extradited to the UK now to be accused of stalking Jeremy Vine? Now, Joey Barton, he blocked Jeremy Vine and Eni Akola, who are both suing him. Eni Akola is that Nigerian-British ex-women's football player who's commentating on the men's game, who can't do basic math and is just awful. So she's suing Joe Barton for ruining her career, which is kind of the point, and also claiming that her father was a corrupt Nigerian politician. Though this week, Joey Barton, he was focusing his energies on pillaring the English Football Association and Nike for their, well, they called playful and inclusive update to the St. George's Cross on the back of the England official jersey, where it's got purple and it seems this blue, making it to look like some sort of transgender, bisexual. Joey Barton, he posted over on X that they know exactly what they're doing, Nike, FA in England, trying to sneak that woke gay communist nonsense onto the English national team jersey. It'll be to appease all of the lesbians who play for the Lionesses, and in women's football, nothing playful about it. Another maneuver in their attempt, coup d'etat of the men's game. Leave our flag and game alone. And Joey Barton, he recently went on a TNT radio program, which, he said the truth that most of the women's soccer players, the Lionesses, are lesbians.
A lot of these men, and this is going to sound really controversial, Ab, so you know, a lot of these men who are not getting jobs are literally not getting them, not because they're not good enough or qualified enough. It's because they're white and they're middle-aged. And, you know, the term in our industry is white, male and stale. You know, and I just think in a sport which is a true meritocracy, you know, in terms of the team, you don't play unless you're the best person for the job. You know, you don't play because of your skin color or your nationality. You play because you're the best striker or the best defender. So we have a meritocracy running right throughout the pyramid to make it as a player. And then as soon as you stop playing, that stops, and we go all woke and diverse. And we go, okay, let's get all these women on. And they're taking men's jobs who've earned the right to be there and got credibility, got skin in the game. And they're also, when you think about it, these men are usually the breadwinners of the family. And the women who, I don't know about you, but most women who play professional football are lesbians. It's not straight women. Straight women don't play football. You know, not all, but mostly.
Abby Roberts on today's news.
You said too much truth again there, Joey Barton. And now the Football Association of England and Nike, they doubled down, saying they have no plans to withdraw the jersey. And the away England jersey seems to have the lesbian and trans flag. So the bisexual flag is in the St. George's Cross in the home one, while the lesbian flag and the trans flag is in the away kit. Nike, of course, their slogan is believe in something, even if it means desecrating a national symbol and sacrificing everything. Diversity, refugees welcome. And now, though they're not alone, the FA in this. The British Olympic Committee, I'm not sure if that's what it's called. This is the Team GB logo for the Paris 2024 Olympics. It's got the bisexual, lesbian, trans colors as well. It's like they've basically gone with the FA logo there. And at the England's game against Brazil at Wembley Arena on the weekend, the English football fans, they told the FA and Nike what they thought by down in the active supporter end, putting up the proper logo of the St. George's Cross, and England lost 1-0 to Brazil's B team, which a lot of people are putting down to the morale, the lack of morale, because it's basically shot morale desecrating this national symbol. Mark says, keep the masses impotent, feed them footy and fries. Now, did anyone see that Barack Obama visited Rishi Sunak at number 10 Downing Street? Former Democrat progressive president visiting a so-called conservative prime minister in number 10. And a lot of people thinking, what was being planned there? Was there some sort of Black Swan event being planned? I mean, remember that Victoria Nuland, the outgoing US Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, said that Putin is going to face a horrific event, and we had the Crocus City Hall attack where 137 were murdered by 4 men who we are told are part of Islamic State, ISIS. They were apprehended fleeing into Ukraine. So they are from Tajikistan, which is a former Soviet republic, a Muslim republic. There's a lot of them in Russia who go for work. And a lot of people were saying that it didn't quite fit the ISIS attack, given that they basically martyred themselves. So ISIS has claimed responsibility. Putin has said that this is an attack assisted by Ukraine and the CIA, though this has been called Russian disinformation. But certainly, it doesn't fit the what we know as the traditional ISIS terrorist attack. One of them claimed in a video he was paid 500,000 rubles on Telegram to carry out the attack, which is $5,000 to kill over 100 people, which is not a lot of money. They'll probably use that as justification to ban Telegram now, I reckon, because it was used to facilitate a terrorist incident in Russia. It's owned by some Russian dissident brothers. So I don't know what was discussed between Rishi and Obama. And now the coloured conquest of the British Isles. There was the first one to fall over in the Republic of Ireland. Leo Varadkar resigned as Taoiseach after his humiliation in the defeat in the Irish referendum, where he and all the other major parties, including Sinn Féin, the opposition, wanted to delete the protections for women and the family in the Irish constitution.
When I became party leader and Taoiseach back in June 2017, I knew that one part of leadership is knowing when the time has come to pass on the baton to somebody else, and then having the courage to do it. That time is now. So I am resigning as President and Leader of Fine Gael effective today, and will resign as Taoiseach as soon as my successor is able to take up that office. I've asked our Party General Secretary and Executive Council.
Now, could it be that he's resigning because of the referendum defeat, or could it be because he was photographed in a gay nightclub groping a very young lad, which Leah Vajka said, oh, that's a few conspiracy theories will come out in the next couple of days. Again, Paleo Conservative Australian says, Leo talked about Palestine. He got the tap on the shoulder after that. Yes, because the Republic of Ireland, well, I know that Sinn Féin wanted to expel the Irish ambassador. So he's from the governing party, Vajka Fine Gael. So his successor will be an Indigenous Brit, Simon Harris. Very Irish name. And obviously, Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland at the end of this year will be a white man, Sir Keir Starmer, albeit he's from the Labour Party. The white men, Indigenous men, they're making a comeback. But I think that little Sadiq Khan will be re-elected as the mayor of London for a third term. Now, moving over to the US, and Jeremy Borang, the CEO of the Daily Wire, announced that the company and Candace Owens had parted ways. This was after a week of that Rabbi Shmuley on his Twitter X making all of these videos calling Candace Owens an anti-Semite, and that he was going to sue her, wants to bankrupt her. And she also had on her Daily Wire show another Rabbi Barclay, who said that she's anti-Semitic because what she says fits the new definition of anti-Semitism, because the definition evolves. Even though you don't consider yourself anti-Semitic, we consider you anti-Semitic. And a lot of people were wondering how long she would last at the Daily Wire. After that, a Paleo-Conservative Australian says he called her the N-word. Well, this is the audio. Now, Rabbi Shmuley claims that this is a deep fake, but we'll never know. But here's the audio for your ears.
And let me tell you something, okay? That Jew-hating nigger is getting sued.
So I don't know if he said that or that's a deep fake AI. But I'll tell you what is definitely actually Rabbi Shmuley. He posted this on his X, dressing up as a stereotypical filthy Jew for the Jewish celebrations of Purim. And once you see this, he probably needs, I think he needs help. He's having a breakdown. Candace Owens broke him. He's got Candace Owens derangement syndrome.
Hi, everybody. Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for Candace Owens that she lost her job. So I figure, with her image of what Jews are supposed to look like, why not at least validate her? I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, this is a Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood. Spicy, delicious. I got my Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does 80 have? Money! Yeah, we Jews are all about money!
All about the Benjamins.
Wait, one second, wait. All about the Benjamins. Wait, I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Where's the matzah? I don't want to finish the whole thing and not mix it into the matzah. So can someone just bring me? She did say, one second, she did say that I was getting, she liked that tweet that I'm getting drunk on Christian blood. So let's do it the right. Oh, so good. So good. Benafuchu. Poor is the day that our enemies fall, my brothers and sisters. This is the way they want us to look. I'll do it for one night. I'll indulge them. If it floats their boat,
Where's
why
your
not?
horns? Where's
Oh,
your
my
horns?
horn! They're covered by my yarmulke. Okay, happy Purim, everybody.
I saw some of the white nationalist accounts say that in the past couple of weeks, Rabbi Shmuley has created a new level of anti-Semitism that I could only dream to create. And I've seen Jewish journalists like Avi Yemeni and comedians like Dave Smith say that Rabbi Shmuley has increased with his own videos anti-Semitism a zillionth fold. And so, yeah, I mean, he's clearly lost it there. Though he was on Piers Morgan's YouTube show now, Piers Morgan Uncensored, with Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. And he was making some valid arguments in favor of Israel actions, but then he just gets passive aggressive and goes for the personal insult, said that Cenk Uygur is the leader of the Hitler Youth with the Young Turks because they committed the Turks, the Armenian genocide. He just goes for the full character assassination. And his daughter, who runs the kosher sex business, she dialed in at the end from Tel Aviv, and Rabbi Shmuley said that Jewish couples engaged in intimate sexual relations is one of the most holy acts in Judaism. So he is a very holy rabbi by promoting kosher sex. So Candace Owens is actually wrong. He's not an unholy rabbi. He is very holy in Judaism. And so his daughter said that the oils, their biggest selling products, which are supposed to get couples in the mood, basically sex, drugs, and denies that there's dildos sold, just calls them novelty products. Now, Candace is going to be fine out on her own. I mean, she doesn't need the Daily Wire. In fact, she was poached from PragerU, which is another Jewish led organization by Dennis Prager. She had the Candace Owens podcast. Then she was poached by the Daily Wire because, well, to give them a diversity hire, because it was all white male hosts with Ben Shapiro, Andrew Clavin, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Jordan Peterson, and Candace is a woman of color. And according to Mark Dice, she was earning $3 million a year, and they probably bought out a contract for $10 million. So the Daily Wire gave her a $10 million severance. So she's going to be fine, and she's married to a English aristocrat who's heir to heavy metals fortune. So she's going to be fine, and she's going to be full independent. Though at the Daily Wire, it's back to normal programming. Though Andrew Clavin, who I think I only listened to once, and I found really boring because he's just basically a intellectual dark web elitist. He's not really that conservative. He has really gone beyond the pale with this rant when he said that the slogan "Christ is King" is anti-Semitic.
Grown. You know, when I did this, by the way, the priest who baptized me said, you know, Christians won't accept you. You'll still be a Jew. And I said, well, I am. That's my race. I'm a Jew. I'm proud of my race. It's a great race. It's done many, many great things, including write the Bible. And, you know, I am a Jew. But that hasn't happened at all. Christians have welcomed me with open arms, except this Christ the King anti-Semitic crowd. Christ is the King. And one day every knee will bow and recognize it, because he's not just my king, he's king of the universe. But when you use that phrase to mean that God has abandoned his chosen people, the Jews, through whom he came into this world incarnate, and that he's broken his promises, his covenant with the Jews, you are quoting scripture like Satan does in the Bible. You are quoting scripture to your purposes, and that to me is specifically wicked. You know, when you spit that phrase at Ben Shapiro, my friend Ben Shapiro, and you know, I understand this. All of you who love Ben, and I love Ben, and Jordan Peterson, you all want to see them find Jesus because you know what joy and freedom that gives you, and you certainly feel that it alters your relationship with God. But when I think about this, to be honest with you, you know, and I know some people will disagree with this, but life is not a game show where you guess the name of God and you get to go to heaven. Honk, you know, yes, the name is Jesus. I look at Ben's life and I think if Ben were to embrace Jesus Christ, it would cause devastation to his family, to the people who love him, to the people who listen to him, to his position in the world. I just have this feeling that God has put this guy where he wants him to do what he wants him to do. And as you know, I feel that, you know, the Jews were not abandoned by God.
Now, what Andrew Clavin just said looks like it could completely blow apart the Judeo-Christian alliance that's been in mainstream Christian conservatism. What I saw on X was the reaction from I would say standard conservative Christians that this was outrageous, this completely crossed the line, how dare he? And I think that it was summarized well over at Cauldron Pool by Ben Davis, who he rightfully went in hard. Christ is king has always offended phony kings and false gods. Christ is king. It has always been a costly profession because if Jesus is Lord Supreme, then every alternative and every system to the contrary must be regarded as compromised and false. Now, I'm an atheist, so I don't believe Christ is king and Jesus is Lord Supreme, but I'm not offended by Christ is king because I don't believe that he's king. Why would I get offended by it if you're not a Christian? Like, obviously, I know that Marg, she wants me to find Christ. She's always wanting me to find Jesus, which I don't consider wicked or it could be life destroying. But apparently, if you say it to Ben Shapiro, it's wicked and satanic. And many people have pointed out in the aftermath that Andrew Clavin's son, Spencer Clavin, this is from the America First Twitter X account. Daily Wire host Andrew Clavin's openly gay son, Spencer Clavin, claims the fact that Satan hates Jews is more salient than the truth Jesus is king. Spencer Clavin identifies as a Christian despite his marriage to Joshua Herr, a homosexual man employed at the Daily Wire as general counsel. So general counsel is basically the chief lawyer, legal advisor to Jeremy Boring and all the others. Andrew Clavin evidently supports his son Spencer's anti-biblical lifestyle and has been advocating for tolerance of gays since his birth. And Andrew Clavin hasn't always, to my knowledge, been a conservative conservative activist. He's a recent one. Also, I should mention that Candace Owens, she's also been recently attacked for believing in the conspiracy theory that the first lady of France, Brigitte Macron, is in fact a man. And it's interesting now that Brigitte Macron is now threatening to sue the publications who have spread this conspiracy theory, because the Obamas have never sued Alex Jones or anyone else for spreading the conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama was born a man called Michael Big Mike. So this is from a French website. So it says here from Jean McKell to Bridget Tronick. The conspiracy theory is that Bridget Macron was born and raised a man. In 1977, a transgender woman calling herself Veronica was interviewed on television. The audio comparison of her voice with a recent interview with Bridget Macron proves that it is the same person. Bridget Tronick married Macron, the same person as her brother, Jean McKell. So Jean McKell was born in 1945, did have a sister born in 1953, but she died in early 1961. Therefore, they're two different people. Is Jean McKell the father or mother of the three Osric children? Because Bridget Macron says she has three children. The father, since he was born a man after the birth of his youngest daughter, Tiffany, around 1984, after taking the identity of his sister Bridget, pretended to be their mother. What about Bridget Macron's first marriage to Andre Luan in 1974? It's both real and fictional. Fictional because the bride was deceased and the groom was imaginary. Real because it was registered in the civil registry without verification of identities. Well, it's a fact that Bridget Macron is a groomer because remember, he was 40, a teacher, when Macron was 15, and Bridget, or Jean McKell, was devastated when he moved to another school, Macron, and was scared that he would fall for a girl his own age. The age of consent is 15 in France, though I'm not sure if that applies to teacher-student. I remember Marine Le Pen in their first presidential debate in 2017 saying, you're playing a student teacher with me. It's not my sort of thing. And that was a real debate. They got really stuck into each other, Macron and Le Pen. And I wonder if Bridget Macron or Jean McKell is going to sue Charlie Hebdo. Remember that magazine, satirical magazine that Islamist shot up. So has Bridget Macron, Jean McKell with a massive dick in her pants. But yeah, so Bridget Jean McKell is threatening to sue, but Michelle Michael Obama has never sued over anything. Does that tell us anything? And now, the fake news media in the US, they're still going on about Trump's bloodbath comments, which he was talking about a bloodbath in the auto industry. But Google, did you see this? That Google decided to literally change the definition of bloodbath. That it was no longer a figure of speech. It had to be a literal violent bloodbath where people are murdered by a government official. I mean, remember, this is the same company, Google Gemini, that said all of history's great historical figures were all black. So, yes. We're going to get much more mainstream media lies, mistruths about Trump derangement syndrome. Don Lemon, he's aged rapidly. Did you see? I remember he used to be based until he got Trump derangement syndrome. Got his contract fired with Twitter X because he demanded, what is it? He demanded, it was $5 million equity in X, and now he's doing it on I think YouTube for free. He's not being paid by Google, the Alphabet company, but I think he's no longer can afford the CNN makeup plastic surgery. I mean, he's in his 50s. He looks very good for an aging gay man, but now he just looks horrendous now. But he claimed that Elon Musk not just didn't like him because he was black, but gay as well. Yes, so yeah, but he used to be based before he got Trump derangement syndrome, as did many, as did some journalists. But yeah, the Trump derangement syndrome, it's going to just go to a new level before the 2024 presidential election. The Biden-Trump rematch, obviously, during Farage's GB News interview with Trump, the big story in Australia was that he responded to Farage, Farage quoting Kevin Rudd in the past, calling him the most destructive president. He said he's now Australia's ambassador. And Trump had no idea who he was, but he said, I hear that he said nasty things. If he's going to carry on like that, he won't be there long. Trump clearly didn't know who Rudd was, but said if he's, if he's saying nasty things like that and is going to be nasty, he won't be there. And we'll see if Rudd can swallow the pill dealing with Trump as president in 2025. Trump raised $3 billion through the merger of Truth Social, help him pay for the U.S. U.S. New York State Attorney General's fine, and also the E. Jean Carroll defamation lawsuit, because that's the other thing. They're trying to bankrupt him before the election. So, and we had, well, he's not the worst ex-prime minister anymore. That belongs to Paul Keating, that CCP simp traitor. When he finally cucks it, we should send his body to China. At a private meeting with the foreign minister Wang Li in the Chinese consulate in Sydney, which the Australian media was banned and which Chinese state media broadcast. Keating thinks that Australia and the CCP should be best friends and not trying to take over the world. And, who cares about Taiwan? And he's no longer paid by China, so he's simping for them for free. The second biggest CCP simp and traitor to Australia is former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr. I don't care if he says good things against mass immigration. He's still a traitor, CCP simp like Paul Keating. And hopefully when he dies very soon, we can ship his body to China so they can be with their real family. That's it for Tim's News Explosion this week. Now, I don't have a Wilms Front interview show in the pipeline. Please suggest some guests in the chat towards the end of the show. It's been an epic show, almost gone for 2 hours. They're getting very good guests on the Backbench Drivers podcast, which is affiliated with the National Observer Substack. I have a good cordial relationship with John Lawson, their chief editor. Some of the guests really good guests that he's had on, can probably invite them on to Wilms Front as well. And over at Reality Check Radio, which I appear on weekly on Tuesdays with Paul Brennan's breakfast program for the Wilms Report. Australian, Dewey DeBoer, his show, my ex-Trad Tasman Talk co-host, The Dialogue, is going gangbusters, getting excellent guests. He had the Golden One on recently, which is a really, really good get. Paleo Conservative Australia says Amy Wax, Jared Taylor, David Duke, JF Grapsy, E. Michael Jones. Yep, I will give thought to those. Now, remember, Paleo Conservative Australian, there are multiple ways to financially support the Unshackled now. That is taking out a Substack membership at theunshackled.substack.com, and that there is also the Unshackled membership as well, which is on theunshackled.net/membership. Still using the Unshackled website for articles, to post articles, but the Unshackled Productions archive, that's what Substack's used for. So we don't have a strain on our server can have a more cheaper server as well. So the unshackled.net/membership, it helps to pay the bills around here, because running everything is well, it's doesn't have no cost. Tricky Woo says Thomas Sewell. Well, Thomas Sewell would have to agree to an interview with me. We do have irreconcilable differences philosophically, me and Thomas Sewell, though I defend his right to free speech and to be a national socialist. I always defend his free speech rights. I will get my membership one of these days. How about today or tomorrow? There'll be a new report from Tiger Mount with Richard Wollstonecroft later in the week. And also, I repost on the unshackled.net my reality check radio segments as well. So stay safe, stay sane. And also, when I say stay safe, I mean this city, it's if it's not the youth gangs, it's the Antifa terrorist thugs running amok. So if you're in Melbourne, be especially careful. I assume that the local Antifa will be protesting outside Douglas Murray's Melbourne shows. Difficult conversations. I'm certainly not going, but they'll be there because, of course, Douglas Murray is a Zionist. He's to the hilt. Good night, everybody. I will see you next week, same time, 9 p.m. Monday night on the Wilms Front channels. Make sure you give a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications. It all helps with the algorithm. Good night.
Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.